I'm Paul, and this is Management as a Liberal Art, reclaiming management to serve people and society. The topic of today's short talk is communication is sideways. The harder you explain, the less they hear. In my years of management experience, I've noticed that miscommunication is a common problem in almost every workplace. Managers who struggle with communication take it very seriously. They prepare briefings and think through how to explain their priorities more clearly or more precisely. They take meticulous meeting notes, draft manuals, print out detailed instructions, and send follow-up emails so there is no ambiguity about what is expected. And still, despite all this effort, someone somewhere ends up delivering the wrong thing. Maybe a deadline slips because a teammate was waiting on information they never asked for. You end up having the same conversation again, repeating your instructions. And when that doesn't work, you start wondering if you're just not explaining it clearly enough, or maybe people just aren't paying attention. The instinct here is to try to communicate better next time. You might ask, why can't they just follow instructions? Now, does this sound familiar to you? Now, conventional management thinking has treated communication as a core leadership skill for decades. The prescription is consistent across industries, in business schools and in leadership programs. Everyone says good managers communicate frequently, clearly, and in multiple formats. They don't leave people in the dark. The logic underneath this is straightforward, and leaders who communicate this way genuinely care about their teams. They're trying to be transparent. Organizations are built on a hierarchy because hierarchy distributes information and decision-making in a sensible way. Those higher up have more strategic context. They can see further. They're planning for the next move. The manager's job is then to take that broader view and translate it into direction for people doing the work. Communication flows from the informed to the less informed, from the top of the chart to the bottom. This model looks reasonable and well-intentioned. Entire training programs are built on this premise. The assumption here is that any misalignment is a transmission problem. If people are working from incomplete information, we just need to give them more and give it better in a clearer way. But Drucker disagreed with this. Communication downward, from superior to subordinate, is practically impossible. The harder you try to push a message through, the more likely it is going to be distorted on arrival. Your team members are far more likely to hear their own assumptions about what you want than to hear what you actually said. This is how human perception works, regardless of effort or clarity. Drucker's prescription for this moves in a different direction entirely. Ask each person, what is their contribution? The specific result the work needs from them. What is the best use of their knowledge and ability? And what the organization and you as their manager should hold them accountable for. When people genuinely think through that question and then answer it in detail, Drucker says communication becomes possible and indeed easy. This also allows for self-reorientation. The question of who has to use my output for it to become effective points each person towards the colleagues who need their work, not towards the manager who gave the instructions. Communication stops being something you push down. It starts moving sideways among the people doing the work because they understand what they are there to contribute. Let's take, for example, a professional kitchen on a busy Friday night. The chef is at the pass, walking each cook through the garnish sequence, the sauce temperatures, and the plate position before every service. He's working really hard and has very high standards. He thoroughly checks every ingredient in every dish to make sure his details are followed exactly. And during service, he has to redirect constantly because each cook is executing only from instructions received. Their focus is trying their best to meet what the chef is demanding and running off the assumptions they've made from their past experiences. This is very tiresome. Now let's look at a different kitchen, one where every cook knows the menu by heart. They know the customer, they know what the finished dish is supposed to look like and taste like, and most importantly, they know their part in making that happen. During service, they're talking to each other, calling out ticket items, flagging sauces that are reducing too fast, maybe adjusting when an ingredient runs out or runs short. The chef here isn't focused on micromanaging everyone in the kitchen. He understands that his job is to set the standard and respects his team's expertise, so the coordination happens without him being involved in every exchange. The first kitchen communicates downward. The second kitchen is organized around contribution. Everyone knows what they are there to do and for whom, and the communication flows from this naturally. In your team, the question of what are you responsible for delivering and how does it connect to what we're trying to do here is the equivalent of knowing the menu. When your people can answer it clearly, the lateral coordination and self-correction flows without you having to push either. If you're finding the ideas on this channel helpful, then you're exactly who we're trying to build this community for. Most management advice out there mistakes profit for purpose and ignores the human element. But here, we're proving that being socially responsible and an effective leader are one and the same. If you want to keep evolving your leadership style alongside us, please consider clicking the subscribe button to join the conversation. It's the best way to make sure these insights reach more leaders who want to do things differently. Drucker's prescription is specific. Focus on contribution and performance. Ask each person on your team what they should be held accountable for. What does the organization and you as their manager have the right to expect from them? And what is the best use of their knowledge and ability? When you ask those questions and genuinely listen to the answers, something useful usually happens right away. The answer will almost never match what you expected. Drucker observed the more capable and responsible the person, the more their picture of their own contribution will be different from yours. That gap is where true communication happens, where two people discover they are seeing the same situation differently and have to work out why. Now you can still push back, adjust the framing and set the final expectations, but by surfacing the difference through a genuine question and listening to the response, this produces the alignment that 100 detailed instructions cannot possibly do. The focus should not be on better communication. It must be on contribution. When you do that, communication stops being something you push down from the top. It starts moving sideways among the people actually doing the work, because everyone understands what they are there to do. As Drucker himself said, the focus on contribution leads to communication sideways and thereby makes teamwork possible. Most struggling teams are over-instructed and under-oriented. They know what they were told to do, but do not know what they are there to contribute. And that gap is where the misalignment lives. Now I know what you might be thinking. That works for an experienced team, but my people are new. They don't have enough experience to tell me what their contribution should be. And that's exactly why I have to explain every step in detail. And that is an absolutely fair point. It's worth taking seriously. A new team member genuinely needs direction and guidance. But they still need to know what they are there to contribute. Even a partially informed answer tells you exactly what they understand and what they missed. The point is to ask them to tell you what they think they are there to do, not for them to set your strategy. Their answer will show you the gap in their understanding, and closing this gap through a real conversation is going to land differently than trying to explain instructions at them again and again. So this week, before your next one-on-one meeting or team check-in, flip the sequence. Open by asking each person what they believe they should deliver and how it connects to what the team is trying to produce. Look for where their picture doesn't match yours. That gap is the conversation, and it will be more effective than anything you were planning to explain. So what do you think? Does this match your professional experience? Let me know in the comments below. And if you know a manager who is frustrated that they have to keep explaining the same things to the same people over and over again, send this video to them. That's how this channel grows. And more importantly, that's how Drucker's ideas get into the rooms where real decisions are getting made every day. Please click like if you like this video, subscribe if you want to see more. As always, thank you so much for your time and attention. I will see you next time.